Hey, this is thecanddchannel. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my predictions for UFC on Fox 15, Machida versus Rockhold, which happens on April 18th on Fox. Both the prelims and the main card actually happened on Fox. Overall, very good card. Tricky card, though, as far as predictions go. Reason for that would be there are a good amount of prospect versus veteran fights. I can already see, you can even say I'd say Max Holloway versus Cub Swanson. Holloway, you can still consider him a prospect. Whereas Cub Swanson, something of a veteran, you know. Paige VanZant, she's a prospect. And Herrig for the division, being 10-5, definitely a veteran. Miller versus Dariush, prospect versus veteran. Tough one with Cummins versus St. Preux. I mean, that is all just based on, I know what both bring to the table. I'll get into it once, I'll get into it more closely, but that one's hard for me to call. Corey Anderson versus Gian Villante. Corey Anderson's a good prospect. You can kind of say Gian Villante at this point is kind of a veteran. Aljamain Sterling versus Takeya Mizugaki. Definitely prospect versus veteran. So, you got a lot of that going on. Great card nonetheless. Good prospects here. Strong main card. Save for Souza versus Camozzi. But at least gets the Jacare fight. Let's get started. Lyoto in the main event. Lyoto the Dragon Machida fights Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, 13-2 record with 3 wins by KO or TKO, 8 wins by sub. House has 2 losses by KO or TKO. 30 years old. He is 6'3", whereas Machida is 6'1". I want to even go so far and say he's probably taller than that. He's on a 3-fight win streak, all over very good competition. Bisbing, Philippe, Bosch, if I'm not mistaken. Trains out of AKA. He is a former Strikeforce middleweight champion with strong kickboxing, particularly good kicks, strong takedown defense, and counter wrestling. If you take down Rockhold, he is hard to keep down. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is also very strong. Lyoto the Dragon Machida, 22-5 record. 9 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub, 36 years old. He's 6'1". He is a former UFC light heavyweight champion who is well known for his karate style stand-up. He's very elusive, but he has good defense. He's a guy that's really hard to hit clean. He's very accurate with his striking. He has good kicks, throws them to the body, leg, and head. Really strong counter striker as well. He'll parry and attack, for example. Takedown defense is also very strong. Also a guy that's hard to keep down and keep on his back. And he is a legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Tough one to call. Great fight. I mean, just a great fight between 2 elite level fighters. Prospect versus veteran in a sense. I don't think of Rockhold as a prospect anymore, though. I mean, the guy is just a top level fighter at this point. This one's hard for me to call. Machida is actually my favorite fighter. I don't know how to say it, but I don't want to let that bias cloud my judgment. He's not slowing down. Just body kick, TKO'd CB Dalla in his last fight. Looked good against, still looks good against top-level competition, like Musasi. Did really well against champion Chris Weidman, to the point where a rematch isn't that out of the question. Who else did Machida fight? Fought, destroyed Munoz. Still, one of the best fighters in the world. I'm actually going to take Rockhold, though, and the reason for this is the height. I mean, really, honest truth, that's pretty much it. I kind of look at it as like Machida Jones in a sense, where it's just like he's going to have to take that one extra step to reach Rockhold's face. I mean, it's so difficult to hit Rockhold clean, especially in the head. Obviously, Vitor managed to do it. TRT Vitor, by the way. I just don't know if Machida's style is going to be able to get inside. I think he might get some good hits in, similar to the first round of Machida Jones, but I can't really see him sustaining that against Luke Rockhold. You know, Luke Rockhold's a good kickboxer in his own right. I mean, I don't know. You know, you can talk about the Machida puzzle and whatnot. But, you know, it's been solved more or less. If you cut off Machida, which Rockhold is actually capable of doing, it can work, you know. And once again, I don't know. As good of a counter-striker as Machida is, I just don't know if he'll be able to get past that reach. It really does come to that. And as far as the ability for each other to take each other down, you know, I can't see. Both of them have strong takedown defense. It really just you know, at the highest level, it's a game of inches, you know. And seriously, this is just a game of inches here. And Rockhold has a couple more inches on Machida here in height. He's a huge middleweight. Machida, though, is Machida. It's not like I'm going to say he can't win. I think this is a very close fight. You know, it's that game of inches at the highest level, and Rockhold has those inches. So Luke Rockhold for the win. Don't think he can get a finish on Machida, but I can see him outpointing him and winning a decision at least. Next fight at that, Ronaldo Souza fights Chris Camozzi. Camozzi has a 20-9 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 7 wins by sub. He also has 4 losses by submission. 28 years old. He's pretty tall for the weight class. He's 6'3". He's taken the fight on short notice. Jacare is supposed to fight Yoel Romero. The thing with Camozzi, good everywhere, but not great at any one aspect of MMA. So his stand-up is good. It's good in Muay Thai. He's a decent wrestler, and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't bad. His overall grappling isn't that bad. However, he has lost to Jacare before. He got arm triangled to sleep. Relatively recently, too. Just like a year or two ago, maybe. Jacare Souza, 21-3 record with 1 no contest. 2 wins by KO TKO, 15 wins by sub. That's his 2 losses by KO TKO. 35 years old. He's 6 foot. He's on a 7-fight win streak, training out of X Gym. He's a former Strikeforce middleweight champion. He's a top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner with greatly improving stand-up, heavy-handed. His offensive takedown ability is really good. His guard passing is top-notch. Don't see why Souza can't just repeat what he did against Camozzi at the first time. Jacare by submission. Oh, and by the way, I will finally, you know, so many people ask me, I am finally going to say what I think, not just who will win, but like the method of victory as well. Do not count on that. I am terrible at method of victory, but so many people ask me, hey, can you do method of victory? Can you do method of victory? I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Can't, like, don't take my word for it though. Okay. Next fight after that, Max Holloway fights Swanson. Great fight, by the way. Great action fight here. Max Holloway, 12-3 record. 5 wins by KO or TKO, 1 win by sub. He's 23 years old. He's 5'11" on a 5-fight win streak. Strong kickboxer. Uses combinations. Attacks the body. Good takedown defense. His chin is really good. I mean, he went 3 rounds with Conor McGregor. I don't even think he was dropped. I think at most he was hit hard, maybe wobbled, but I don't even think he was dropped, if I'm not mistaken. Strong cardio, too. I mean, this guy, he can go, the way you see, he actually gets stronger as the fight goes on. Swanson, 21-6 record, 8 wins by KO or TKO, 7 wins by sub. That's his 4 losses by submission. 31 years old. He's 5'7", training out of Jackson Winklejohn. He's a good boxer with heavy hands. He's got a good chin himself. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu solid. He has decent takedown defense. I don't think that'll matter as much in this fight, though. Prospect versus veteran fight. I have been better about picking Cub Swanson fights, finally. Regardless, I'm going to go with Max Holloway. The range, I do worry about Cub Swanson landing an overhand right. To get past that range, I can definitely see Swanson just landing some overhand rights and tagging Max Holloway. I don't think that Swanson can take down Holloway, and if he does, I can see Holloway get back to his feet. I can see Holloway using his range striking and combination striking to chip away at Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson's a durable guy, though. Max Holloway by decision is my pick there. Next fight after that, Felice, Little Bulldog Herrig fights 12 gauge Paige VanZant. Herrig has a 10-5 record, 1 win by TKO, 3 wins by sub. He's 30 years old, training out of Team Curran. He's got some good Muay Thai, decent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. Paige VanZant, 4-1 record, 1 win by TKO, 1 win by sub. 20 years old on a 2-fight win streak, training out of Team Alpha Male. She's got a good clinch. Her clinch striking has greatly improved. She's very aggressive. Her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has actually improved as well. She got taken down by Kylan Karen. She was like throwing up arm bars and whatnot. Her striking, actually, to be honest with you, is below average in my opinion. She still has that really bad habit of just bull rushing into the clinch. I mean, it's not technical. It worked against Kylan Curran. I can actually see it working on Felice Herrig. This one's hard for me to call because, one, VanZant has a lot of hype behind her. From what I saw from her in Invicta, I think it was against Tesha Torres, right? 2-1 she fought Kylan Curran. Great improvements. And Tesha Torres is really good. And just way too much for VanZant during that time. Felice Herrig is a good, quite honestly, I think of her as pretty much a gatekeeper. You know, she's good everywhere, but she's not great at any one aspect of MMA. So, you know, she can take fights to the ground. She does have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Striking's not too bad, but she doesn't necessarily stand out in any one aspect of MMA. Paige VanZant doesn't really stand out in any one aspect of MMA as well. I'd say her clinch, though, is getting really good. I'd say she's better than Felice Herrig in the clinch. I'm going to go with Paige VanZant by decision simply because Herrig's good. I just don't know if she can get past that aggression or the bull rushes. You know, I don't know. I don't have faith that she can. Like I said, good fighter, but not a great fighter. VanZant, I know what she's gonna do. She's gonna bull rush into that clinch, hit some dirty boxing and whatnot, force the takedown. Whether or not she gets it on Herrig, I don't know. But I can actually see, at the very least, her aggression and her clinch striking to win favor with the judges and get the decision victory. On to the prelims. Jim Miller fights Beneil Dariush. Dariush has a 10-1 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 6 wins by sub, 25 years old on a 3-fight win streak, training out of King's MMA with the likes of champion Rafael dos Anjos. He is a top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner to the point where he actually has a guard named after him. I believe it's called the Dariush guard, right, if I'm not mistaken. His stand-up is greatly improving. Showed a really strong body kick game against Darren Cruikshank, and it seems to be an attack that is used greatly amongst King's MMA fighters. Rafael dos Anjos also has a really good body kick as well. Dariush is a good wrestler, but he is taking this fight on short notice. Jim Miller has a 24-5 record with 1 no contest, 3 wins by KO TKO, 14 wins by sub, 31 years old, training out of AMA. He is extremely well-rounded, a legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt with good wrestling, good stand-up, and he's tough and gritty. This is a prospect versus veteran fight. I don't think Jim Miller has fallen off per se, but I do think he's getting worn down. He's a guy that like never got finished. Then Diaz like subbed him. Donald Cerrone knocked him out. I don't think his chin all of a sudden got bad, but I do think that the wars Miller's been in, and he's been in some wars. Joe Lozon, I think one of his first fights in the UFC against Matt Wyman, was a war too. I think it's somewhere along the line. I think sooner rather than later, it's gonna really wear on Jim Miller. I don't know if it's gonna do it now against Dariush, but it could show itself, the wear and tear of those wars, and just getting beat down too. I mean, he got beat down by Benson Henderson too and whatnot. Dariush has shown to be a blue chip prospect. I know he lost to Ramsey Nijem, and I was pretty down on him after that fight. But since then, he has shown great improvement. Still one of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners out there. This guy gets the back, it's done. And his stand-up, man, greatly improving. Like I said, pretty much outstruck Cruikshank. Tough fight to call because Jim Miller still got it. But I'm going to go with the young prospect to beat the veteran. Jim Miller, though, many times has played spoilers. Think Charles Oliveira. That's another good fight. He's beaten the Anti-Medeiros. Jim Miller can beat prospects. Good prospects. So he's done it before, but I'm going to go with Dariush. Also, I can actually see Dariush get the sub. I can see him take Miller's back some way, or possibly a decision. I don't see Dariush beating him up on the feet, but maybe off a scramble or something, take the back. Maybe he drops. I don't know if he'll drop Miller. I can't actually see that happening. I can actually see a scramble happen somehow. Dariush getting the better of it, maybe taking the back and getting a sub, if not a decision. So it's either Dariush by either sub or submit or decision for the win there. Not super confident about this pick though. I'm still high on Jim Miller. I mean, Jim Miller is still Jim Miller. I think he might be a little more worn down. I don't know if he's really going to show the wear and tear in this fight or not. There is a good possibility that this could be that fight, though. The next fight after that, Patrick Cummins fights Ovince Preux. OSP, 17-6 record, 8 wins by KO TKO, 5 wins by sub, 31 years old. Tall for the weight class, he's 6'3", whereas Pat Cummins, though, is 6'2". He has some good stand-up, real heavy-handed. He's a good offensive wrestler, but he lacks fundamentals. Patrick Cummins, 7-1 record, 3 wins by KO TKO, 2 wins by sub. Like I said, he's 6'2", 3-fight win streak, training out of Rain and King's MMA. He's a strong wrestler, really good ground and pound, good top control as well. But his stand-up is average. Here's the thing with St. Preux. Honestly, he's green in a sense. Like, you can see him fight Bader and he throws the funniest punches. He has a good cross. I mean, that's like his best strike, and a good body kick. He's a guy that'll do some pretty random things. Body kick to double leg. I mean, like, seriously, he'll go for things. Some unorthodox stuff. But on a fundamental level, he's not that great, He's a great athlete, though, and sometimes it's a matter of just his athleticism letting him get by. That's the thing with St. Preux. I know what Cummins brings to the table. I've actually picked him pretty well up until this point in the UFC. He's going to find that takedown. He's going to get you against the cage and force that takedown if he can. He is going to rain down ground and pound and stay busy so that the referee does not stand you up. Will he finish you at the ground and pound? Hasn't actually shown to do that. But he'll, he has a very solid fundamental game. So are you going to go with the guy who's fundamentally sound? Fundamentally sound wrestler, ground and pound fighter. You know what he's going to bring. Or the unorthodox stylings of St. Preux, who has the athleticism to help him defend takedowns or counter wrestle sometimes. His takedown defense is a bit questionable. He can defend the first takedown, but if someone chains a takedown, he usually can't defend the second takedown. And he's a good striker. I don't know if Pat Cummins is going to really go strike for strike with St. Preux. I can just see Cummins playing his game. With that said, I'm going to go with Pat Cummins here. I like OSP. If you actually hear, when I go with picks and with a St. Preux fight, I tend to go with OSP a lot of times. I just kind of see this fight similar to that Bader fight, really. Is Cummins getting the takedowns, at least getting 2 of 3 rounds. His ground and pound has shown not to be, except against Roger Narvaez, it's not really, it's shown not to, really finish a lot of opponents. So I got Pat Cummins by decision here. Tough one to call though, because like I said, OSP, he'll throw something wild. He'll even try his own I know he'll probably try his own takedowns on the wrestler. It's what he does. And he's a great athlete, so he can win it for sure. I just think Cummins' game, it's just solid, and it's fundamentally sound. So Pat Cummins by decision. Next fight, that Corey Beeston 25-8 Anderson fights John Villante. Villante has a 12-5 record, 7 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub. Has his 2 losses by KO or TKO. 29 years old. He's 6'2", training out of Belmore Kickboxing. Costas Phillip, who I believe trains there. He's trading wins and losses right now. Stand-up's good. He can kind of brawl at times. His wrestling's actually not too bad offensively. His cardio, though, is pretty weak. Corey Anderson, 5-0 undefeated record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by decision, 25 years old. He's pretty tall for the weight class. He's 6'3". He's an Ultimate Fighter winner. Good stand-up, particularly good boxing. He's pretty heavy-handed. His wrestling is greatly, it is good too. I'm going with Corey Anderson here. I think he'll be able to actually match the stand-up of John Villante. And if he needs to, he can go to his wrestling. I can just see him get the decision victory here. So, Corey Anderson, probably by decision. At the very least, John Villante's tough. It takes a lot to really put him away with strikes. He's always in the fight, John Villante is. Corey Anderson's got more upside. He showed some really improved, got some good cage time against Justin Jones. Showed some good boxing against him. He's a good wrestler, so yeah. Corey Anderson, decision victory for him. Next right after that, Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling fights Takeya Mizugaki. Sterling, 10-0 undefeated record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 4 wins by sub, 25 years old, training out of Cerro Longo. He is a good wrestler with good ground and pound. His stand-up's improving as well. Shows particularly good kicks. Takeya Mizugaki, 20-8 record with 2 draws, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 1 win by sub. Has his 2 losses by KO or TKO. 31 years old. He's a good boxer, real underrated grappler himself. His chin, I mean, he did get knocked out by Dominic Cruz. He wasn't known to be like particularly like a potent finisher, but Mizugaki for the most part has shown to have a good chin. Prospect versus veteran, tough one. By the way, Mizugaki beats prospects. That's the thing. He beat, what was it, Eric Perez, I think? Is that who he is? Yeah, he beat him. What other prospects has Takeya Mizugaki beat? There's others. I'm trying to think of others. Nonetheless, the thing with Sterling, I don't know if he can go stand up, keep the fight standing with Mizugaki. I can see him actually keeping range with his kicks. Well, I think one thing that will really help Sterling is his wrestling. I can kind of actually see the fight going like, I remember like way back when Mizugaki fought like Brian Bowles, and it's kind of like, okay, the stand-up's going one way, okay, Brian Bowles gets a takedown, you know, and disrupts the rhythm of Mizugaki and disrupts the overall rhythm of the fight. So I am going to go with Aljamain Sterling for the win here by decision. I can just see him keeping the fight standing at range, and when the opportunity shows up, get his takedowns. Nonetheless, it is prospect versus veteran. Mizugaki, crafty veteran, you know. His boxing game is good. Tough to put away. Super game, you know. Has actually a decent clinch takedown game himself. So if Sterling wins, he's going to have to work for his win. But I am going to go Sterling decision victory. Next right after that, on to the Fight Pass prelims. George Sullivan fights Tim Means. Tim Means, 23-6 record with 1 draw, 16 wins by KO or TKO, 3 wins by sub. House has 2 losses by submission. 31 years old. He is 6'2" on a 3-fight win streak. Trains out of Fit NHB with the likes of Ray Borg. She's taking this fight on short notice. Originally, Kenny Robertson was supposed to take this fight. He has some strong Muay Thai, real heavy-handed, strong elbows, strong knees, really just overall good clinch striking. His clinch striking, I mean, look at what he did to Diego Lima in his last fight. Super aggressive, always pushing forward. He's got a good chin as well. His one weakness, though, takedown defense. He has some very weak takedown defense. George Sullivan, 16-3 record with 1 no contest. 11 wins by KO or TKO, 5 wins by decision. He also has 2 losses by sub. 33 years old. He's not as tall as Tim Means. He's 6 foot. He's on an 8-fight win streak. Training out of Pellegrino MMA. He is a very much workman-like fighter. He's a good wrestler with good ground and pound. Solid enough stand-up. Okay. Here's the thing. Every division has these real particular fighters. Lightweight has the hulking Brazilians. Gleison Tibau, Adriano Martins, Elias Silverio, Master Nduba, Leandro Silva. Just these huge hulking Brazilian, generally top control players. Welterweight has these utter blue-collar workman-like fighters. Mike Pierce, Ryan LaFleur, George Sullivan, Kenny Robertson. And then they have guys like Claudio Silva, who just, like, makes fights ugly. Court McGee. Guys that are gatekeeper-type fighters, and they tend to beat prospects. That's the thing. Stand-up wise, especially in close, Tim Means, all the way. I don't know if he'll get there. I can see George Sullivan taking the fight to the ground, working like performance. I'm going to go George Sullivan for the decision victory here. I think he can take the fight to the ground enough. Stay busy with his ground and pound, and not really allow Tim Means to work his game out. Tim Means is a more popular fighter. He's a more fun action fighter. If George Sullivan keeps this fight standing, I think Tim Means has the advantage here. If George Sullivan mixes in his wrestling with his stand-up, I think he can get the win, and I think that's what he's going to do. George Sullivan by decision. Next fight of that, Diego Brandao fights Jimy Hettes. Brandao, 18-10 record, 9 wins by KO TKO, 5 wins by sub. Has 6 losses by KO TKO, 27 years old, on a 2-fight losing streak. Training out of Jackson Winklejohn. He is an Ultimate Fighter winner with good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, reckless stand-up. He's pretty heavy-handed though. His cardio is really weak, and what I like to call mental issues. It's just like I don't know if he just mentally checks out of fights or whatnot. He's fighting Jimy Hettes though. Has 11-2 record, 10 wins by sub, 1 win by decision. 27 years old. He is trading losses and wins. He's got some strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills himself. He has a good judo. His stand-up though is pretty weak. Doesn't always have the best cardio as well. Man, notice how I paused there just because I'm going to go with Brandao here. As you can see with my tone, not confident with the pick. However, Jimy Hettes, for him to win, he has to be able to take the fight to the ground and work his superior Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. The thing with Brandao, though, is he has a really good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game himself. I think Brandao, there's a good chance he just blows his load in the first round. Very possible. I don't know if he gets a finish on Hettes. I can see, if this fight goes to the third, I can see both guys just gassing badly. I see avenues for Jimy Hettes to win this one. I'm going to go with Diego Brandao. Man. I don't know if he gets a finish or not, though. He's not a type of guy that tries to go for decision. I just don't know if he can put away Jimy Hettes. So I'll go safe one, Oh, Diego Brandao by decision. And finally, Chris Dempsey fights Eddie Gordon. Chris Dempsey, 10-2 record, 2 wins by KO TKO, 3 wins by sub. 27 years old. He's a good wrestler with average stand-up. Eddie Gordon, 7-2 record, 3 wins by KO TKO, 1 win by sub. 31 years old, training out of Cerro Longo. He is an Ultimate Fighter winner. He has some solid stand-up with some good wrestling. Did not look good. He looked decent against Aljamain, but he just kind of grinded and lay and prayed on him until he got head kicked, knocked out. Nonetheless, Eddie Gordon by probably TKO for the victory here. I think he has a better stand-up, and heck, I think he has a better wrestling. So I'll go with Eddie Gordon, maybe even catching Dempsey on the feet for the victory here. So Eddie Gordon, TKO victory. Okay, to recap, Luke Rockhold beating Lyoto Machida, Ronaldo Souza beating Chris Camozzi, Max Holloway over Swanson, Paige VanZant over Felice Herrig. On the prelims, Beneil Dariush over Jim Miller, Patrick Cummins beating Ovince Preux, Corey Anderson over Gian Villante, Aljamain Sterling beating Takeya Mizugaki. On the Fight Pass prelims, I have George Sullivan beating Tim Means, Diego Brandao over Jimy Hettes, and Eddie Gordon over Chris Dempsey. So that's it for my predictions for UFC on Fox 15, Machida versus Rockhold. If you have any comments, just leave them below. And that's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.